Good morning. And my pronouns are she and her. And I am not, it says here, I'm going to be your service leader this morning, but I'm actually not. I'm just going to do the welcome this morning. And Brandie is with me, Brandie Moller-Reid, and she is going to be being the service leader this morning. We are a liberal religious faith, and we are multi-generational, diverse in our thinking and our believing, and we celebrate a mosaic and a rich mosaic of people that are part of this community. And we are here on Treaty 6 land, the same land as the original caretakers of this area, the Métis, First Nation, and Inuit people. This land is a gift to us and our responsibility to care for it. Each of us has a part to play in it, however small, but in taking care of one another, whether we are two-legged, four-legged, winged, or have fins. This gathering includes a meeting of elders and youth in our communities. May we learn from each other in a positive light and support the next generation in their journey through life as they support us in ours. I understand there is one announcement. Pauline, if you'd like to come up. No, you have to come to the mic. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no choice, sorry.
I would have sat on the other side had I known. My name is Pauline Atwood, and what I'd like to do is bring your attention to the Soul Matters Transformation monthly package. In the back of every package, though, is a list of movies and TV shows that are suggested to coincide, to complement the theme of the month. One of the movies is called The Holdovers, and it is a movie about an instructor who ends up overseeing students over the holidays and the transformation that has gone through for all. Okay, so this movie is a contender for Academy Awards. It's playing at theaters in Edmonton. So I am wanting to go and see it and am asking if anybody else is interested to contact me, because it would be nice to see this movie in community and talk about it through the lens of transformation after maybe at Tim Hortons or something. So let me know if you're interested.
Could you say your name again? And
sure.
And how to get a hold of you?
Sure. Okay, so my name is Pauline Atwood, and I think if you ask Janet, that's probably the best way that she can pass on that message, or I'm also in the directory. That's it.
Good morning. I am Brandie Moller-Reid, and my pronouns are she and her. And this morning we'll start with a Prelude, A Woman's Place by Sara Thomsen. Right? Here we go.
I am a woman, and my place is in the home, and my home is a whole wide world. We are world shapers, we are change makers, we are potters spinning clay, we are dreamers of a new day. We are asking questions, we are opening up the door, we are searching, finding answers, we are wisdom seeking more. Rabbi, singer, teacher, professor, poet, preacher, driving buses, styling hair. We are everywhere. sweeping the heart. We are dreaming in the dark. We are weaving at the loom. We are the rhythms of the moon. We are world shapers. We are change makers. We are tenders of the earth. We are women giving birth. We are packing lunches. We are sewing the clothes you wear. We are sleeping on park benches. We are kneeling down in prayer. Doctor, dancer, scientist, carpenter and journalist, telling stories or rocking chairs. We are everywhere. We are women. We are stirring the pot. We are keeping the fire hot. We are holding a child's hand. We are the rhythms of the land. We are world shapers. We are change makers. We are potters spinning clay. We are dreamers of a new day. We are laughing, crying. We are taking the time to play. We are singing, we are sighing, we are making our own way. Politician, volunteer, refugee and engineer, in the streets and on the air. We are everywhere. We are change makers. We are potters spinning clay. We are dreamers of a new day. We are rule breakers. We are homemakers. We are healers of the earth. We are midwives at the birth. We are women, and our place is in the home. Our home is the whole wide world.
Okay, where are we? Now, may I ask Rosemary to come to the front for us to light our chalice for us, as is our tradition in the Unitarian Church. I will read these words that can be found in the blue hymnals, number 435 by Kathleen McTigue. We come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see their communion, the reflection of our own eyes. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope is hallowed by our presence together. Thank you, Rosemary. And now we'll sing our opening hymn, number 1010, We Give Thanks, in our teal hymnals. For those in the sanctuary, the words will appear behind me. There they are. And for those of you online, they should appear on your screen. I invite you to stand as you are willing or able for hymn number 1010, We Give Thanks.
Thanks.
Our community is entirely self-governing and self-supporting. One of the privileges of our free church tradition is to provide all the financial support for our many ministries. From among ourselves, generosity, therefore, is one of the spiritual values we recognize as central to our personal and institutional well-being. In addition to supporting the church community, we also make a monthly commitment beyond our walls. 1/2 of the unidentified cash that is received is given to us, an outside organization. Some are local, some national, some international. For the month of March, we are sharing our abundance with ICCUW, the International Convocation of Unitarian Universalist Women. This organization works for women's rights and empowerment around the globe. ICCUW advances equity for women and girls worldwide through leadership development, empowerment and awareness programs, advocacy, and resources. For those in the sanctuary, you can use the envelopes found in the inside cover of your hymn book if you wish to receive a tax receipt for your gift. Please indicate on the envelope your contact information so we can send you a tax receipt at year end. Many of our members and friends give monthly or annually through automatic withdrawal from their accounts. For those of you online, we encourage you to visit the ICCUW website to make a donation. And I'm going to ask John Pater to come up and give us a little blurb on Canvas. And if we can get a couple people to pass around the collection plates, that'd be awesome.
Hi everyone, my name is John Pater. My pronouns are he and him, and I'm here on behalf of the Finance Committee. So you would have heard last week from Andrew Mills, our treasurer. This is the time of year when we talk about money a little bit, but we also want to talk about vision. That's how we get to where we want to be. Andrew started it off last week. Andrew Mills, our treasurer, started it off last week by kicking off this Canvas month. And I want to talk about two things, two main reasons why I think any of us give to any kind of organization. And one of them is entirely in self-interest. We give to a cause because we get something out of it. So for example, we come to worship services on Sunday morning. That's a spiritual practice that we acknowledge and honor. That's good for ourselves. And so we're willing to go, we're going to give some money because we get something out of it. Or we might sing in the choir. If you join any choir, it's going to cost you about $300 a year. So we sing in the choir and we're prepared to give something because that means something to us. It's something that's entirely self-interested. So that's one reason to give. I think another reason to give, and probably a bigger one, is because we believe in that cause. We believe in that entity. We believe in that organization. We believe its place in the world. And so I think I want to ask you, outside of your own self-interest in the things you come here for because it serves your needs and interests, is what does this organization mean to you beyond yourself? What is its place in the world? What's its place in our community? Do you believe in its vision? Do you believe that it is something that will do something good for the world? And that's something entirely outside of yourself. And so I think those are two reasons why you might give and pledge in our campaign. I want to point out a little bookkeeping thing. That part of the pledge is, even if you are not in a place where you can give any money at all, we still need you to pledge. You can pledge a zero. We just simply need to know how many of our members can give and what they can give. So we have a sense of what now the financial part, our budget, means to us. So please do fill out the pledge form that you'll be seeing coming around. And please tell us then what it is that you can contribute each year. But I think of the bigger picture. What does this place mean to you? What does this place mean in the world? And I think that's where we want to drive our interest and our passions and what inspires us to give. Thank you.
Thank you, John. We thank you for your generosity and support with our time, our talents, and our money. We support the work of the community and this Unitarian Universalist tradition. The offering will now be received, and let us join in singing "From You I Receive." So this is the time for the service leader's reflection. And you know when you do things a little bit backwards, you write it, and then you say, how much time do I got? So If we run a little late, you can beat me up out in the parking lot later here. I sat for a long time with this, trying to decide what I wanted to reflect on today. Remarkable women for International Women's Day theme, or transformation for our monthly theme, or combine in some way something about, I don't know, transformational women. I oscillated between ideas and sort of landed on the latter. I started thinking about transformational women. Mother Teresa, Michelle Obama, Brené Brown, Maya Angelou, Rosa Parks, and even despite what you may think of her music, in today's modern pop culture world, she has proven to be quite a role model for young girls, Taylor Swift. No, while I'm amazed by all of them, I don't really feel qualified to speak about any. So next, transformational women in my life. Well, of course there are women in my life I look up to, whom I admire, who have persevered through hard times, inspired and taught me things, but nothing headline-making, deeply philosophical, just more so in their everyday being, like my grandmother, Nana. I call her Nana. So then, I'm a woman. Should I speak of myself? The changes I have gone through to make me the woman I am today? Let's see, there are changes from girlhood to womanhood. Sure, but mine was mostly unremarkable, nothing noteworthy. What about changes from single to married, becoming a wife, or into motherhood? That was fairly significant for me. Or getting a divorce and finding love, and then finding love again. I went back to school, changed careers in my mid-40s, changes in my life faced by aging children and parents, and then, of course, there is the ultimate dreaded change faced by all women eventually. I wrote it all down, and that's a fair number of changes. And while each change was uniquely mine, there is nothing terribly unique about these events, these pillars of change in my life. I mean, the change into motherhood for those who want or can is a privilege many of us go through. But motherhood on the whole isn't a unique event. So I pondered more. Naturally, my mind drifted back to my Nana. My Nana passed away 6 years ago and was someone who I was very close to. She had come to Canada as a war bride, only returning home to England once when my mother was a toddler. She never went to university. She never learned to drive. She was a preschool teacher and a good wife and mother as she raised her family. And she was wise. And she gave the best advice. I remember once when I was 20 and had just moved in with my future husband, being a bit old-fashioned herself, Nana was trying to be neutral in my decision. After I told her about this move, not really formally asking for approval, but her likely sensing it in my voice, she said to me, "At the end of the day, if you can look yourself in the mirror and like what you see, that's all that matters, not what I think." She didn't say it to be mean or trite. She meant it simply exactly as that. And it stuck. The following year, my future sister-in-law gave me a card with a poem. It resonated so much for me, probably in part because of Nana's advice the year before. This poem was called The Woman in the Glass by Dale Wimbrow, and I would like to share it with you. When you get what you want as you struggle for self and the world makes you queen for a day, just go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what the woman has to say. For it isn't your father or mother or husband whose judgment upon you must pass. The person whose verdict counts most in your life is the one staring back from the glass. She's the person to please, never mind all the rest, for she's with you clear up to the end. And you've passed your most dangerous and difficult test if the woman in your glass is your friend. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of life and get pats on the back as you pass, but your final reward will be heartache and tears if you've cheated this woman in the glass. This was one of my earliest lessons on self-love. Not that I got it at the time, of course. I mean, I tried, but it's taken years to fully realize this advice. And in fact, I'm probably still learning it. But in the years since, I've used this as a tool, a yardstick, an instigator for change. I have made mistakes, made poor life choices, and done things I am not proud of. I have also had successes and triumphs. I have stood and looked at myself in the mirror. Sometimes I smile at what I see. Sometimes I want to break that damn mirror. But still I stand there and stare, looking myself in the eye. It's been an interesting practice. Over time, I have learned that it's not only being able to look yourself in the mirror and like what you see, but also look into the mirror and acknowledge the ugly, the messy, and the not so nice. To love myself is to love everything about myself. To do so, I need to acknowledge all parts of myself, take ownership for those mistakes and choices, and then forgive myself and learn to say, now what? So where am I going with all this women in the mirror talk? Gandhi had said, we but mirror the world. All the tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body. If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a man changes his own nature, so does the attitude of the world change towards him. This is the divine mystery supreme. A wonderful thing it is, and the source of our happiness. The most crucial lesson I believe my Nana was trying to teach me at that time is you must first start within if you want to be happy. And I have since further realized that happy and self-aware people are the ones who in turn change the world, in both small, unassuming ways and in big, bold ways. I suspect that's where many of the world's most transformational women in history started, by first learning to love themselves. So this is what I practice. If we love and accept ourselves by acknowledging and owning who we are, we can continue seeking improvement and growth. And if we are open to growth, then we can be open to transformation, both internally within us and externally in the world around us. The most transformational thing I can do as a woman, or even just as a human, is to acknowledge myself, emotions, actions, and then do better, become better. I must continually strive to improve my understanding of myself and thus the world around me, then change, adjust, and repeat. Michelle Obama is quoted as saying about the title of her book, Becoming, "For me, becoming isn't about arriving somewhere or achieving a certain aim. I see it instead as forward motion, a means of evolving, a way to reach continuously toward the better self. The journey does not end." On this weekend of celebrating women, may we celebrate our own journeys into self-discovery, self-evolution, and self-love, so that we may ultimately be those self-aware, empowered women who transform the world around us in our small, unassuming ways and in our big, bold ways. And we will now sing our hymn of the month, written by our very own Gordon Ritchie, "Come With Me." The words have appeared behind me, and for those online on your screen. Please rise in spirit as you're willing and able for "Come With Me" by Gordon Ritchie. And you're all up here.
Thanks, Brandie. We're going to get some of the choir people up, and we'll get them up around the mic as well, just to support you singing this tune. This tune was debuted last Sunday, and so this is the second debut, the second time that this song has ever been sung before in the history of humankind. I'd like to thank Reverend Rosemary for suggesting that it become our hymn of the month, and thank you all for your indulgence. So I'll get the choir to kind of come around the mic a little bit as we all join in singing "Come With Me."
We're over here now. We're all over the place. Yeah, yeah.
Come with me
That was awesome. Thank you. Thanks for coming up and helping sing. Where's my water? There it is. I'm going to invite you into a time of reflection and meditation. Be one of the usual ways that we do our meditation. I will invite you into a centering time, and then I'm going to read a piece of writing by Naomi Shihab Nye, and it's fairly long. So I'll just read it the once. I normally read the poem a couple of times, but this is more of a story about women on this, that we're celebrating International Women's Day. So I invite you to take a couple of long, deep, slow breaths, always by invitation, never by demand. To follow your breath as it enters your body, giving you oxygen, leaving what you need inside, and then releasing what you do not need anymore. Allow the chair to hold you, allow the bed, the couch, the floor, if you're at home, to hold you. Lean into it. You don't have to hang on. You can just let go. Invite you to wiggle around and see if there's any spots of tension or itchy or discomfort, and see if you can breathe into those places and release the pain, some of the tension. Maybe you can give yourself your arm a scratch if it's itchy. And just take a couple of breaths. Let gravity pull you. Let it show you that you can be held. Gate A4. Wandering around the Albuquerque airport terminal after learning my flight had been delayed for hours, I heard an announcement. If anyone in the vicinity of Gate A4 understands any Arabic, please come to the gate immediately. Well, one pauses these days. Gate A4 was my own gate. I went there. An older woman in full traditional Palestinian embroidered dress, just like my grandma wore, was crumpled to the floor, wailing. "Help me," said the flight attendant. "Talk to her. What is her problem?" We told her the flight was going to be late, and she did this. I stooped to put my arm around the woman and spoke haltingly. Shudawa, Shubiduk, Habibti, Stani Shwaye. The minute she heard any words she knew, however poorly used, she stopped crying. She thought the flight had been canceled entirely. She needed to be in El Paso for major medical treatment the next day. I said, "No, we're fine. You'll get there. Just later." "Who is picking you up? Let's call him." She called her son. I spoke with him in English. I told him I would stay with his mother till we got on the plane and ride next to her. She talked to her. She talked to him. Then we called her other sons just for the fun of it. Then we called my dad, and he and she spoke for a while in Arabic and found out, of course, They had 10 shared friends. Then I thought, just for the heck of it, why not call some Palestinian poets I know and let them chat with her? This all took up 2 hours. She was laughing a lot by then, telling of her life, patting my knee, answering questions. She had pulled a sack of homemade mamoul cookies, little powdered sugar crumbly mounds stuffed with dates and nuts from her bag, and was offering them to all the women at the gate. To my amazement, not a single woman declined one. It was like a sacrament. The traveler from Argentina, the mum from California, the lovely woman from Laredo were all covered with the same powdered sugar and smiling. There is no better cookie. And then the airline broke out free apple juice from huge coolers, and 2 little girls from our flight ran around serving it, and they were covered with powdered sugar too. And I noticed my new best friend, by now we were holding hands, had a potted plant poking out of her bag, some medicinal thing with furry green leaves. Such an old country tradition. Always carry a plant, always stay rooted to something. And I looked around that gate of late and weary ones, and I thought, this is the world I want to live in, the shared world. Not a single person in that gate. Once the crying of confusion stopped, seemed apprehensive about any other person. They took the cookies. I wanted to hug all those other women too. This can still happen anywhere. Not everything is lost. Let's share a minute of silence, after which Gordon will bring us out of silence with Spirit of Life. As is our tradition in the Unitarian Universalist world, we light candles. We light candles of joy or concern, of celebration, of sorrow. And as we do every Sunday morning, and often when we gather, we light a chalice and then we light candles. And so I invite you, if there is something on your heart that you wish to light a candle for, or if there is something a joy that you wish to share, the lighting of a candle can make that burden less, or can make that joy multiplied. It is in the sharing of these times together that we create community. The tables are set. I invite you now to light a candle of joy or concern. Thank you. It's beautiful. I'm asking Brandie to light one last candle for all those joys and concerns that we hold in our hearts that are perhaps even not a finished thought. That candle is for all of those. And I'm going to conduct a tiny little wee bit of business, and I'm going to ask our sound tech, John, if we have figured out a way to get sound into the quiet room. We have several people in there this morning. And the answer is no. Yeah, we'll work on that. Thank you for bringing it to my attention. So this morning we are celebrating International Women's Day. Women Hold Up Half the Sky is the name of this message. Most, if not almost all, of the writings and songs we are singing and hearing this morning are written by women. And so I'm wondering what all of you have done to celebrate International Women's Day. This morning I am going to talk about divine or feminine wisdom. And the reading that I have selected is a reading from the Tao Te Ching and a translation by Stephen Mitchell. And I've read from the Tao Te Ching recently, but I'm really super inspired by it, so I hope you are too. Being and not being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore, the master acts without doing anything and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and the master lets them come. Things disappear and he or she lets them go. They have but don't possess, act but doesn't expect. When their work is done, it is forgotten. That is why it lasts forever. The Tao is like a well, used but never used up. It is like the eternal void, filled with infinite possibilities. It is hidden but always present. I don't know who gave birth to it. It is older than creation. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. We join spokes together in a wheel, but it is the center hole that makes the wagon move. We shape clay into a pot, but it is the emptiness inside that holds whatever we want. We hammer wood for a house, but it is the inner space that makes it livable. We work with being, but non-being is what we use. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. It always surprises me how the service leader reflection always coalesces with my message in some mysterious, sometimes overt way, and it will be a sometimes subtle way, but today it is going to be quite overt. So I'm really thankful for this practice of having service leader reflections. It's just so wonderful. I'll finish the reading. There's another sentence or two. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. The Tao never does anything, yet through it, all things are done. So this was written about 400 before Common Era. So a few weeks ago, I saw a reference to something called spiritual discernment. Curious, I clicked on the link and it took me to a video of a woman who offers spiritual discernment. She's somewhat of a companion, I would suppose. The video I watched was of her speaking at a conference. She was explaining this. As she talked, I realized that what she was actually talking about was simply making decisions. But in making decisions, using not just our heads, but our whole selves. She asked questions like, how does the possibility of this decision make you feel? Think about different aspects and take note of what happens in your body as you consider all the implications. In other words, she is saying that we make our best decisions when we stop and pay attention to what is actually happening inside of us, inside ourselves. Our stomach, our gut, as they say, actually contains neurons. So how many of you knew that? We have neurons in our stomach. These neurons do not translate into conscious thought, although I'm sure that some would argue with me on that one. But these neurons inform us in a really big way. One of the expressions I use when I'm making a decision is this: So I'm going to pretend I'm going to make a decision. I'm going to decide this way. I'm going to try it on for a while, like a cloak. I wear it loosely and notice all the thoughts and feelings that come up. Then I decide in the other direction. And again, I take note of my thoughts and feelings. And so what I discovered was that I'd actually been practicing spiritual discernment for a very long time. Tuning into our innermost being, figuring out what we really want, because our brain will only tell us so much. A very small amount, in fact. Have you ever heard of the Johari window? Have I ever talked about that with you? The Johari window? It is a tool developed by two men, Johari, Joe and Harry. Joe Luft and Harry Ingram. This tool is to help people better understand their relationship with themselves. Picture a window frame or a mirror divided evenly into 4 parts, 4 panes, kind of like a window a kid would draw on a house, like a 10-year-old, 7-year-old. In the top left pane, is that your left or my left? No, that's my right, your left. In the top left pane are all the things I know about myself and all the things that you know about me. For example, you know that I am Canadian, that I'm a minister, that I live in Edmonton, that I have 2 kids and 2 grandkids. You know all those things about me, and I know those things about me. Below that window is a window of things that I know about me, and you do not know about me, and we're going to keep it that way. The top right window are things that you or perhaps my close friends and family know about me, but I don't know about me. These are my blind spots. These things are hidden from me. And finally, that lower quadrant, so that's that, and then the lower quadrant are things that no one knows about me. They are hidden from me and from those that know me. And we all have that possibility, that all of that is in all of us. Not just me, that's for everybody. That's what I'm trying to say. So the idea that as we develop and evolve, we begin to learn more and more about ourselves. So this window of what I know about me and you know about me, maybe that begins to grow. But the important window is the things that I know about me, right? We want to know more and more about ourselves as we grow more and more understanding. So how does this development happen? So if we look to the Tao for an answer, we would have to say that we need to look at the empty spaces, the places of being, not being, and doing, not doing. And so what do I mean by this? Having to stop and consider how we are being received. What is the effect that we're having on one another? So we do this by asking for feedback. We listen to messages at a deeper level. How does this feedback feel? In both these examples, this is feminine wisdom. The work is turning into ourselves and listening, paying attention, not forcing, waiting, exploring, stirring, and churning. Think about that clay pot. It's not the walls, it's not the pot itself that's important, but what is being stirred inside of it. We as human beings are a mixture of open and closed. And what society traditionally considers to be masculine and feminine. Each and every one of us lands in a different place in the vast constellation that makes up humans, gender expression, who we're attracted to. There's thousands and thousands of places we can land on, and thousands of attributes. No 2 people are alike. There is no normal. Therefore, there is no person that expresses themselves in either or terms as far as masculine or feminine is concerned. Suzanne Kingsbury quoted in an article in Bustle magazine written in 2017, she says, "The divine feminine is an energy that has been with us since ancient times. Consciousness is basically divided up into the masculine side and the feminine side. It's a little binary for my thinking, and we need to both to achieve our highest creative potential. In other words, the divine feminine represents the connection to the part of your consciousness responsible for nurture, intuition, empathy, regardless of your gender. According to Kingsbury, the divine feminine is the aspect of the self associated with creation, intuition, community, sensuality, and collaboration. The idea of the feminine divine is in many religions and represented in all cultures. It has been around since, well, forever. The Hebrew word for wisdom is Sophia, and in the Russian Orthodox faith, Sophia played a big, big part. At one time, it was believed that Hagia Sophia, or Holy Wisdom, should be part of the Holy Trinity. In Istanbul, the great Byzantine cathedral called Hagia Sophia was built in 537 Common Era, and it is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The subject of holy wisdom, the divine feminine, is vast, and we can only touch on it in a few key points. The important parts, for me at least, are these. We are filled with this intuition, and through our upbringing, the pain and trauma of living out our lives in this sometimes cruel and unrelenting life, in our cruel and unrelenting world, we lose track of our inner wisdom. We begin to go through our lives thinking it is the doing that is important. It is the things that we accumulate, and it is the getting ahead through competition that makes us successful. Well, I would never suggest that we don't try our best. I am saying that being first or hurting others on our way up the ladder teaches us to silence our inner wisdom. We have to silence, otherwise we wouldn't be able to do the things that we sometimes do. It is only through intense self-evaluation, like I said, asking for feedback, loosening our grip and turning into ourselves, can we tap into that beautiful and gentle feminine wisdom that is in all of us, regardless of our gender. Not only does feminine wisdom allow us to become our best selves and to act out of a gentle and sincere place in our being, it is also what connects us to the earth. From an article in Spirituality and Health written by Hilary Hart. What is feminine wisdom? What role does it play for all genders in this time of such significant global change? Feminine wisdom is mysterious and multidimensional. By its very nature, it is hidden in the depths of our being. This wisdom has to do with our awareness of interconnection and our experience of Earth's sacredness. End of quote. The qualities born of this wisdom help us to nourish each other and nourish life. And they have so much to do with the source of love, as with love itself. If these qualities are hidden, how do we see them? If they are so far from our conscious awareness, how can we live them? Perhaps that power, the knowing is in what is revealed in the Tao, in not being and not doing. Sometimes just waiting, letting others go first, listening well, and admitting our own powerlessness in the grand scheme of things. Being open, like a bellows, it brings new life, ignites the spark within. The clay pot is important, but it is what we use it for that brings nourishment. And sometimes, like the dough, we have to wait, for to rush the proofing of the bread will render it tasteless. When we are deeply connected to ourselves, to the earth, and to others, we are then within this web of healing and understanding. First, the understanding is about ourselves, being brutally honest with ourselves, trying to find out what is hidden, and to use our wisdom to enrich the lives of those around us. Let us practice being the vessel that brings life. Remember, we are part of the interconnected web that sustains all life, and that wisdom is at the center of all living things. So may it be. Amen. So, Siyahamba is the final hymn of the day, and I invite you to rise in body or in spirit to sing this hymn. And as it has quite a beat, I invite you to move as freely as you are able. Siyahamba, hymn number 1030 in the Teal hymn books.
I would like to invite Rosemary back up to help us extinguish our flame as our time together nears an end. And I will read the words, "Into the World Singing" by Don Skajay Cooley. Let us go out into the world singing. Let us go out into the world singing songs that proclaim liberty, songs that turn ashes to garlands, songs that bind up the afflicted and those who mourn, songs like little oaks, have roots that go deep and stand strong. Let us go into the world singing. We know these songs. They vibrate through time in our very souls. They are the songs that give us life. They are the songs that give us meaning. They are the songs that give us purpose. Now it is our turn to take these life-giving songs out into the world. Let us go now, sing these songs with voices deep and strong. And may the world join us in praise and in celebration and in love. Blessed be.
Before I offer words of benediction, I would like to thank everyone that participated in this service this morning and made it possible, from the musicians and service leader to tech people. Thank you for those online that are here with us. I hope that you too found the service was, what's the right word to say? Okay? Full of meaning or something? Found something transformational. That's our theme for the month. Useful. Thank you, Paulette. I hope you found the service useful in some way, finding your voice or finding a way, a new invitation to look inward on a more often basis, to learn about yourself and bring your full self to life and to all your interactions. That's my grandson playing in the back. Hey, Etienne. Okay, now I offer you words of benediction. It's really hard to focus when my grandson is in the building. I apologize. All right. Do not be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. Things can break and things can be mended, but not with time, as they say, with intention. So I invite you to go and love intentionally, love extravagantly, and above all, love unconditionally. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is within you. Go in peace, gentle people, go in peace. Amen. And now let us sing our linking song, Carry the Flame. The words will show up on the back.
I thought when we had Ruth Patrick's thing.